Babies and more babies. Hi everyone, welcome to Crowdfunding Countdown. Hello my beautiful babies. Welcome to Crowdfunding Countdown, where we take a look at every single board game campaign finishing up in the next week. And this week is no different. There's nothing different that's going to happen this week. In fact, it's just going to be a recap of the past 117 episodes. Let's go! No, just kidding. I'm just having a little goof. This week is going to be fine. It's going to be a fine week. There are a couple things that I'm excited to look at. There's a couple, more than a couple, bunch of things that look bad. But that doesn't matter, because sometimes they're good and sometimes they're wrong, as I inch closer to you because I just miss ya. Alright, let's get into it. No new patron shoutouts this week, but thank you to all of my current patrons for supporting the channel. This Christmas season, you've given so that this little boy can live. So you saved me. You saved me. You're my heroes. You're my heroes. Let's take a look at the week, starting off with not a board game, but something that's raised almost $1 million US, over $1 million Canadian, and that's the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Other Strangeness. The best-selling role-playing game is back in beautiful full color with new art by TMNT creators Kevin Eastman, Peter Laird, and more. I definitely know those names, so we both know what's going on. This is a relaunch of the original TMNT role-playing game that were released in 1985. So that's kind of cool. If you're a big fan of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, well, you can mutate your own hero or anti-hero from a wide variety of urban, rural, and wild animals. That's pretty fun. Of course, they're not going to look like that. They're going to look in your imagination. So worse. So just worse. But it's $50. That's a lot. That's how they're almost at $1 million, because they're doing what most other things do for 25. Or maybe that's just a PDF and they're not giving a PDF version. Anyway, if that interests you, check it out. I like RPGs, but I don't play a lot of RPGs, but I figured I'd mention it. So the first real board game that we're checking out is Chaos Cove by Martin Wallace. Martin Wallace, the designer of the world's #1 game, that's true, Brass Birmingham, is back. Chaos Cove is a highly interactive and innovative worker placement game. Cool. I like Martin Wallace a ton, so I'm excited to see what this one's all about. That looks kind of fun. $55 too, Rum Party tier? Sure. This is an asymmetric worker placement game. But what's interesting to me and what I want to know more about is that you can be all of the heroes. So basically you just get to rotate them. Every round you probably get access to new different heroes, different workers that you can place, because all the workers have a different ability. 77 Canadian, so after shipping, well, it'll probably be 100 for me. And the whole goal here is to defeat the pirates that are invading Chaos Cove. So whoever defeats the most pirates gets the most points. You're punching pirates in the face, and that's how you get points. I guess you also get points from any forts that you build, so any fortifications that you're able to build. Yeah, so the hero tiles get passed to the next player at the end of each round. I hope that they're all random at the beginning. That would be exciting too, to give a different makeup of what your heroes can do and how they can interact with each other. My worry about that is that I'm not that worried because it's Martin Wallace and he's an incredible designer. My worry is that the powers will be too specific for locations, and that one person always feels like they have to go to a specific location, which then gives the sense of autopilot, which wouldn't be the best, but that seems minute. It's how to play video. This is where the rulebook should be, though. I swear to God. And shipping's pretty big. 19, Canada 20, yeah. So it's 100. And there's no rulebook. Great, no rulebook. Perfect. Maybe it's a game found thing. You know what? No, you know what would be exciting is if you told me how to play the game. That would be exciting. Like, it's so simple. Teach people how to play the game. Don't make them sit through an hour-long video. So 16 minutes. Don't know why there's a giant player aid the size of the board, which shows you what you get when you go to that spot, and that the main board doesn't seem to show you what you get when you go to that spot. That seems ludicrous to me. Yeah, it seems fun enough. 55, it's tough. This is a game that I feel is kind of doing everything right, and nobody cares. You know? It's weird. It's only raised, it's just crossed its goal. It's a game by Martin Wallace. It's got art by Mr. Cuddington. It's like a fun, charming game with a lot of potentially interesting flow. Zero understanding why they made that player aid decision. That just seems completely silly. Like, why am I just going to look at my player aid when I can be looking at the board? Is the board that big? I do like how chonky those circles look when you're dealing them out, it feels like it would be nice to shuffle them up. They look like Blood Rage size tokens, like the province tile size tokens, and that's very satisfying. Yeah, I'm not sure why this one isn't doing that well, other than it's 55 and the shipping isn't that great, so it makes it like a $75 game US, which is $100 Canadian, and it's something that I would want for 60. Again, in that sort of $60 range. But a lot of things do this, maybe because there aren't that many stretch goals. I don't know. I don't see anything really wrong with it. Oh, wait, there's no rule book, so nobody knows how to play it. Maybe that's why it's not doing well. Ridiculous. But if you're interested in that finishes on the 29th, which is Wednesday at 12:59 a.m. Moving along to Color Koi. Roll and write printed home strategy board game. It's a splash. Well, we'll see if it's any good, and I'll see if I cut this. I always like the idea of having pencils, like different colors for a game. Like, I like that idea in cartographers of doing different colors of your grids and whatever and making different symbols and whatnot, but I just find I never do it. Sagrada had that roll and write with different colors, but I just too lazy. Then you need a set for everybody who's playing. Anyway, this is a print and play roll and write color game for 1 to unlimited number of players. You're trying to populate your pond with the best set of colorful koi and fish. At the same time, you're planting colorful plants into your pond so that it matches your kind of koi. You're my kind of koi. No, you know what my kind of koi is? Koi Clan, baby! Player with the most points is the winner. Well, I would love if you told me anything about points here. Most points. Okay, we're good. But basically, you choose a dice, and that'll choose your colors that you have to color a fish and a plant. And it seems like the fish have to be red and the plants have to be green, so it's kind of tied in together. I think if you like coloring, look at this. But we're moving on, because that's all it is. That's Wednesday, November 29th at 1 p.m. We're moving along to this one, maybe Partisan. A 1 to 2 player asymmetric deck building game that plays in under 30 minutes. 1 to 2 player, eh? Alright, seems like there's 3 tracks in the middle that you're fighting over. You either want war or peace. 18 pounds, 22 US, 31 Canadian. So both nations wish to take control. Colonial Lindis must reach 10 peace while maintaining positive morale. So you have to deal with 2 tracks, basically. Yeah, and this seems pretty simple. On your turn, you play your cards, and you do their actions, which will be move your little thing on the track. You can recruit to get better cards, or you can battle, which I don't know what the battle does, so that's why what I want to look up. Rulebook, thank you. Thank you, Partisans. It's about friggin' time. Only 3-card hands. You're going to use your cards for actions, and you only use 2. Maximum of 2. The 3rd card is never used. So for battling, if you have a bunch of battle cards in your hand, doesn't matter. You can only pick 2 of them. Oh, okay. So there's always, if a battle happens, you can choose to battle or not. And I was like, well, okay, I'll just never choose to battle. If you choose to battle and lose, you lose 2 morale. If you don't choose to battle, well, you lose 1 morale because people know that you're a scared little baby and they'll push you down in the playground. Even though I'm a pacifist, they say, oh, pacifist, more like pacifier, then they'll stick a little pacifier in your mouth and dress you up in a diaper, and they'll call you Passachrist, the pacicrier, for the rest of your school days. So it's always better to fight. Tatake! As they say. Yes, I will be watching this video later. Tatake! I don't understand why people dislike you. Dislike this. You literally got what you asked for. Tatake! Okay. Okay, cool. And if you're allied with your opponent, you may not battle them. So the ally tracker, you just have to be at the same spot. You're like, hey, no, we're still allies. It's like, I don't want to be your ally. Hey, we're still allies. That tactic may work for a while, but in the end, you're still going to get pushed over and be called a little baby for the rest of your life. Sure, this seems neat. This seems neat enough. They've got a rule book. What's shipping going to be? £7, so $15 Canadian, 14 US. I mean, this is going to be like $45 Canadian to get, and then it becomes a little bit less exciting when you hope that it's a smaller package deal. But 22 US, that would have been good. You still got to factor in shipping. I don't know. I think this looks very simple, to the point. I think it's going to do what it does and accomplish its goal of just finishing up very quickly. It might get a bit boring with the recruiting after you kind of know all the cards. There aren't that many cards, to be fair. But I don't see really any problems with this, and I think you get exactly what you ask for. I don't know why people are disliking it. They gave you exactly what they told you they would. That finishes Wednesday, November 29th at 3 p.m. Moving along to Saw, the Jigsaw Trials. This one's for Colonel Mustard. Try to keep hold of your limbs in a new tabletop game based on the Saw film franchise. Do you want to play a game?
Do you want to play a game? Do you want to play a game?
Pretty good Jigsaw impression.
A game you'll play. This is the game.
Yeah, not bad. Not bad. This one goes out to Colin. Colin wanted me to rip this apart. He said, I can't wait for your epic takedown. I said, Colin, you better keep waiting. Let's check it out now with the solo mode. Yeah, that's my favorite solo mode to do. The thing is, you can play this solo mode twice, because then you slip right out of the handcuffs. You slip right out of the handcuffs, and then you can't really play it solo anymore, really. That's why I always get new gamers in on this, just to see how they react. This game seems a bit convoluted. So, and really not into the actual theme of the first Saw. The first Saw was good. I maintain the first Saw is a good movie. And then everything else, well, the second one was okay. And then it's just really downhill from there. Then it just becomes torture porn, right? But the first one could have been a play. Actually great, like, unity of set sort of film. Anyway, the whole conceit of this game is that, hey, Jigsaw wants you to be his successor. So he's captured you and is going to make you make traps, but you also have to escape traps, even though the trap making I can understand, but he's going to murder all the other successors when it was more of an ideology thing. And then you could do a whole Scream situation if you had more than one person, which is helpful when you're eluding the authorities. Come on, Jigsaw, get it together. But yeah, all of these people will lose their limbs. Your lives are your limbs, basically. And that's very gruesome. What else can we expect from a thing where you can spend an additional, we're going to the versions, you can get an additional $35 so that you can get a severed hand. A real human severed hand. Where are they sourcing these? I don't know, but they're not going to tell you. But don't worry, you don't have to put this real human severed hand on your shelf and show everybody what a psycho you are. You get to put it in a little collector's edition box that you can then say, oh yeah, do you want to play with the extras? And they open it up and there's a hand in there. I think it's very funny. I think it's a horrible thing. You know it's not going to look like that. It's going to look like one of those Instagram stories of what I ordered versus what I got. Like this, what I ordered versus what I got. At least that cat is is looking stylish now. Once you bleed out, it's all over. Yeah, this is how to play. I'm going to look at the rule book, but I imagine it's just, hey, make weird combinations of cards and throw them at other players, and then the other players have to respond and have cards in their hand. I imagine it's a huge take that fest with not a lot of merit, but we'll take a look at it. A life-size severed hand collectible. Yeah, but how big? What size are we talking about? Is it your own? I don't know. That hand looks very grisly. But really, $35? I could just go out on the street and get one for free. And I could get a matching set. I do like the sort of Epic Spell Wars little story that they're creating here. That actually seems kind of gruesome and fun. But basically, you put all of your stuff together. You can take the easy way out by just chopping your own hand off, or you can do the thing and play the cards by using the cards that you have. The central challenge. Explain in the rulebook below. Okay, yeah, I want to know. I want to know. I imagine you play the type of symbol equal to the number. I imagine that's what it is. Special cards make it challenging for your opponent. They come at a cost. They require you to discard a card while playing them. Here are your base stats. You add your other item stats to it. But if Saw can have a rulebook, every campaign can have a rulebook. Thank you very much. What's the breakdown? $7.91 and then $12.63 for collector's edition. It's 112 Canadian or 77 Canadian. It'd be like $100 for this game at just the base one. Seriously, if you're getting this game, you should go for the collector's edition because the game's not going to be good. So it's just a big take that fest. You say, "Hello, Billy. I want to play a game." Sorry, that's not Jigsaw. "Hello, Billy. I want to play a game." That's Jigsaw. Then you read the story of the card, and then they have to challenge it. So it's just a big, you just throw it at either whoever's in the lead or whoever you don't like and want to watch you play and have fun. Fun's relative, right? Yeah, it seems very, very simple and not something that I would be that interested in playing more than once as a novelty sort of thing. What's shipping like? £8? Alright, that's not bad. £25 is horrible though. Oh man, that's bad to Canada. So yeah, over $100, like $110 for the base game of this, which is the most ludicrous thing I've ever heard. I guess some people want it. That finishes Thursday, November 30th at 8:58 a.m. I'm very surprised there's anyone going for the retail version of this, because I just think in order to like this game, you need the severed hand. Moving along to Skuttled, a piratical card name of shenanigans. A vicious card shedding game with beloved simple mechanics wrapped in a pirate theme. Each game is full of family-friendly fun. Yuck! The worst kind of fun. I prefer angry acquaintance fun. Better for strangers, right? I like the hex cards are called pieces of 8, not pieces of 6. More like hack-shape cards. So it's Crazy 8s. It's a $30 pirate-themed version of Crazy 8s with zany abilities. How's this phrased? Is he going to say Uno or Skuttled? Yeah, because it's a fun theme, I guess. Oh, and great, there's one card which can essentially make everything you've done completely useless and just restart the game without getting the satisfaction of somebody winning. I was going to try to be nice, but I can't after that. What's shipping? Do we have shipping? Nope. Oh yeah, we do in here. $12 to go to Canada. So it's like $60 to play Crazy 8s. I think I will continue to play Crazy 8s the way I like to play Crazy 8s, which is not at all. That finishes Thursday, November 30th at 11:44 a.m. Moving along. Oh yeah, this one I thought looked cool. This is just a small little thing. I like the pitch of this. It says, "You've always lived in the Lighthouse," an immersive card-driven storytelling RPG for 2 players. Just even that concept, you've always lived in the Lighthouse, it kind of sets the scene, right, of you going out into the great beyond. But I don't know, because one player is the keeper, the lone operator of the lighthouse, driven there by events and emotions that are revealed and explored throughout the game. The other is the creature, a being from the dark depths of the ocean, drawn in by the lighthouse and the one that tends it. Seems kind of like I would live in that lighthouse if I knew this sort of creature was going to come and say hello. Siren's secrets unfold on the rocky shores? Oh yeah, they do. Bring me your siren song. I think I'm less excited now that I look at it, though. You're driven by cards, you're playing sets of cards, you can change the weather, you can add elements to the narrative. I don't know, I think the concept seems more exciting than the description of it, unfortunately. But if that lures you in, you can get disappointed like me, and that finishes Thursday, November 30th at 12:03 a.m. Moving along to Wild Duo, 5 smart board games. 5 for 2 players in 1 box. 2 players, 1 box. Never seen that movie. Have fun exploring them together with your spouse, friend, your children, etc. Alright, so there's 5 little abstract games in here. They said they wanted to represent the feeling of each animal. That's kind of neat. 55 Canadian total, so I probably would just want to play 11. Pay 11 for each one. When you break it down like that, though, it's not bad. But they all come with their own little fabric bag. What do we got? We got Tusk Tactics, Baleen Bubbles, Sealed Shores, Mannequin Mates, and Monkey Monarchs, which, according to Rise of the Planet of the Apes, we should have had 7 years ago. All language neutral, all little videos to explain it, and a rule book. Great job, Wild Duo. Let's look at them. I assume they're all sort of abstract-y games like Bug Chaw, and the thing with those abstract games, well, come on. Well, let's look at pictures while I talk, and then we'll go back to them. The thing with abstract games is that you probably don't need 5 of them, realistically. Alright, so let's go through these quickly. Tusk Tactics. On your turn, you move one of these 1 space, and you put it on top of another elephant. And then on your turn, you can move another stack however many spaces equal to the stack size. So if this was now a 2-size stack, you could move it 2 spaces. And unlike Tack, where it drops something along the way, it immediately just jumps to that other thing. The goal of the game is to get towers that are at least 4 size, and the person with the most towers, when they're on top, the person who's on top the most, I guess what I'm trying to say, wins. I've heard it said like that before. Let's move on to Baleen Bubbles. Each player controls a group of humpback whales that work together to hunt down a school of fish. The player who successfully manages to drive their school of fish to the center of the game board wins the game. So you can see this little school of fish right in here. You got 3 and 3 and a little school of fish. You have to keep moving. Whatever happens is you got to keep pushing the fish moving. So it's like that slidey game where you're always on ice and you got to push yourself and not fall into lava. You know what I'm talking about. Don't pretend like you don't. Any video game that you can only move in one direction, That's what this one is. Get to the middle of the board. Sealed Shores. Each player controls a group of South American sea lions competing for territory and females on the beach. Oof. The first player who manages to encircle one of the opponent's sea lions so that it cannot make a valid move at the beginning of the turn wins the game. Don't worry, you're not circling the females here. Hopefully not. No, you're pushing the males. You're like, listen, stop hitting on Gertrude, okay? And just like, put up. Woo. He's like, oh, oh, oh. It's like, no, she doesn't want your applause. All right? She can choose what she does. Stop just clapping at her. It's not how to get someone's attention. You can move any piece as much as you like. This looks like a direct copy of Knot's game. The board is exactly the same. This one, Wana. You must move one of your marbles. If you trap one of your opponent's marbles, you win. Inspired by the game Go, Baduk. I want to look up if Baduk, if Knot took from something. Yeah, no, that's Go. That's not cool, is it? Yeah, on your turn you must move your marbles at least one space. A marble can move as far as you want along the line it is currently on without making a turn. Let's go over here. Each player moves one sea lion. A sea lion can move any distance along the line it's currently on, and it's the exact same grid. Like, this is literally the exact same game, just in a different version and not one that... I want some explaining about this. Sealed Shores, who was it designed by? Does it have designer credit in here? Was it taken by Knot? It said 4 were designed by this person. Oh, perfect. Okay, we're good. It's just a re-implementation. Clearly that was Knot's game. I was going to lose it. I was going to be like, that's not cool. That's some copyright infringement. But it's not. It's just a rebranding of a cheaper version of Wana. Wana, which had marbles. This one, which is about $11 because it comes in this bundle. Kind of helps when you look at every single board game campaign, eh? Kind of remember a couple of them. Unfortunately, that means I have to read the rules for the next 2 ones, including our all hail our inevitable Monkey Monarchs. All right, Monkey Monarchs, each player takes on the role of a golden, snub-nosed monkey clan competing for the same mountain. This leads to conflicts during which your group members may sometimes turn against you, so they can flip. That's how it'll work. Whoever defeats the opposing alpha male or moves their alpha male to the opponent's alpha starting position wins the game. That's your alpha male. If you're confused about which one's your alpha male, it's the one that looks like me. I'm more of a bonobo. Okay, so you can move your pieces one at a time. You want to sandwich a piece in between 2 of the same piece. So 2 squares, the bachelors, can sandwich a female carrying her child and get her out of there. Knight of the Roxbury style. But it has to be 2 of the same type, and you can use the opponent's same type as long as it isn't there to take out the same type. So if you have a bachelor and your opponent has a bachelor, well, you can't take out the bachelor. But if you have a bachelor and your opponent has a bachelor, and you got the alpha male in between you, oh, they switch sides. They go all Knight of the Roxbury. This should be called Knight of the Roxbury. They can rebrand it, and they take them out. Trap and defeat the opposing alpha male, or block the opponent that they can't make a legal move. Okay. And then finally, mannequin mates. Each player controls a group of blue mannequins getting ready for their mating dance. Oh yeah, like the Birds of Paradise, baby. The player who successfully arranges a perfect coordinated quartet of birds, meaning 4 birds of the player's color in a row, connect 4, wins the game. Okay, so you're trying to get 4 in a row. You can do the same thing with Monkey Monarchs by sandwiching 2 of a color. It'll flip to your color. It'll change it so that it is your color. And then also there's some additional movement rules. It's connect 4, but you can move your pieces so that you can flip other pieces. That's what it is. What's shipping on this one? Let's see. US, Canada, 1 game, 15, 18. So yeah, it's like $70 for me to get 5 games. Not bad. I mean, I like abstracts. They all seem pretty decent. There's a lot to get through. And that's a cool idea, doing best out of 5 and playing all the abstracts together. Yeah. It doesn't seem like a horrible price if you really like abstract games. For me, I don't know if I would play best out of 5, right? Like, I don't know if it turns my crank the most. And so you really need to be buying in that all 5 are good for you. But a good price, like, especially considering Wana was 25 and after shipping would have been like $50. You can get that same gameplay and 4 others for like an additional $20 if like you were interested way back when. Now that we know it's not copyright infringement or just stealing someone's design. Anyway, if that interests you, that finishes Thursday, November 30th at 5:59 p.m. Moving along to the gates of Niflheim. Play an epic Viking quest of your hero's journey to hell. That's, I feel, what my journey could be called. In a narrative campaign, miniatures board game with a choose-your-own-adventure style system. Let's see what this one's all about. I like the book. I like the book that it just kind of comes with you right there. I really enjoy that. Let's see what it's got. No, this is wrong. You're calling it Niflheim when it's clearly Niflheim. All right, that little tutorial was a bit underwhelming, but I guess it's just the tutorial. I did like that they just had tokens moving around, making it very evident that you don't need the minis whatsoever. You don't even need the standees. You just need a small little token on it. So that was nice. 19 US for a print and play of the entire game? That's really, really good. Travel set, also good. 45 Canadian, 35 US. Yeah, that would be the thing that I would be interested in, and obviously it's the thing that no one's interested in because I'm interested in it. You just need some 12-sided dice, or you can get your 12-sided dice here. I do love that you get the first 5 campaign scenarios too in this download as well. That's nice. I'm not gonna be that harsh on it because I feel like they're doing everything to give you access to the game. I just don't know if what I saw was that exciting. The rules engine is the same as all Paths Unknown game. If you know one, then you know 90% of them. Okay. Oh, I see. Okay. So the markers on your hero, you can choose how many movement points you get, but then you'll get a penalty on the attack and you use it. So if you're running, your attack's going to be less effective than if you're standing still and ready to punch someone in the face. That's what those markers are. I like that you get to choose how much you move, and it has impacts on your attack. For attacking, you just kind of roll dice. That happens in the next scenario. I just missed that part. I was scrolling frantically for it. I don't know. It just doesn't seem that exciting to me. I don't know what to tell you. It seems fine. Shipping for the travel set is $15, so it's still like $50 for this thing. If you like dungeon crawlers, that's what they're pitching. If you like Vikings, I don't know. It just doesn't thrill me. Doesn't seem to thrill me. I don't know how I'm the target audience for this, to be honest. I just might be tired. The price thrills me a bit. I like the price, but it's not really my style of game. But if this looks cool, a little scenario book that you can kind of flip through. It reminds me of like Escape from Stalingrad Z or whatever those, all those other ones that came within that book. Reminds me of those two, just because again it's in a book, that sort of campaign travel version of a dungeon crawler. If you want to avoid having so many boxes on your shelf, this is a potential. So if you're interested in that, check it out. That finishes on the 30th at 5:59 p.m. And also finishing at the same time, also our last one on GameFound is Misty Waters, a strategy adventure sandbox type historical fiction board game set in the 18th century, age of the wooden ships, great sails, and brave sailors, full of gunpowder, smoke, strange phenomenons, and creatures of different sizes. Kind of sounds like my first wedding. Just kidding. Yeah, that looks kind of fun. It's a big old sandbox game where you can have an early victory. That's the thing that really piqued my interest. Otherwise, it's just a big old sandbox game where you're riding around on ships, in which case, just play Seafall. Get Seafall for $15. It's the truth. You can probably get it for $15, and it's very fun for that price. Yes, I'm a Seafall supporter. I have the scarlet S on my forehead, and I accept it wholeheartedly. Us Seafallers have more fun. But the fact that you can claim an early victory by having strategic points on the map, making people pay attention to certain things, or if you find buried treasure, people are just like, honestly, you're the winner. That seems like it's pretty fun. And you're pursuing these different goals, right? You might be sacrificing points in order to try to get this victory condition, and it might be an all or nothing sort of situation. Explore and conquer the islands, defend, invest in mines and plantations, visit the tavern, undertake missions, gamble, a big old sandbox, right? You can move around, you can fight by firing cannons at each other or using your crewmen. Money in this game can buy almost everything except for the experience. You can open-ended negotiations, I like that. And then you have what money can't buy, gaining additional action cards or re-rolling your dice. Seems like a lot of, a little bit of upkeep, just moving NPCs around. Upkeep in terms of things that you're going to have to pay attention to, right? I think that was a good breakdown of like the sort of fun things that you can do. I wonder if they actually have a rulebook or not. Yes, they do. More about the game. Draft rulebook. Here we go. This doesn't look like a rulebook. This looks like more advertisements. Earn money. You'll need it. Seize the emerging opportunities. Collect trophies for elections. I wonder how the game ends. Here's the rulebook. Yeah, the very bottom of the page. Great. Would be great if that had just linked to it, but it's fine. Only 14 pages. Well, she's a thick text girl, isn't she? Okay, where were we? The round structure. The wheel of time. The wheels. Yeah, I'm curious what the action phases are. And this player can explore the islands, load and unload cargo, passengers trade, replenish the crew, and repair the ship. So mainly a lot of pick up and deliver is happening. That's what that's telling me. Makes me a bit less interested, to be honest. And then there's ways to modify it and make things a bit more complicated with the advanced rules. They don't seem that much more complicated than this base rule. A lot of dice rolling. I'm not sure. I think the pitch is a little bit more exciting than what I've seen. Geez, core box, €79, $120 Canadian, plus shipping, 28 to 29. So looking at a $160 game for this sandbox style. I don't know. I could just be getting tired and not seeing things as effectively. It could have just been not a solid rule book, to be fair. And yes, I understand that when it's not a solid rule book, people are like, well, that's why I wouldn't put a rule book out as a draft rule book. I just let you be excited about it until I got the rule book looking great. But I still appreciate the rule book being out there. Seems like a pretty heavy time investment, which if you love the theme, I think go for it. Mechanically, it's a lot of dice rolling. It feels like it's pick up and deliver-esque, and lots of really fighty combat stuff where you're just hitting each other over and over again, which I don't know if I'm into that flow, to be honest. But it doesn't look bad. Just seems a bit expensive for not wowing me in the rulebook as it wowed me in the video. But if you're interested in that, it finishes also on the Thursday, the 30th at 5:59 p.m. Moving along to Calimala, a remastered and deluxe classic with Fabio Lopiano and art by Ian O'Toole. Well, you know reinvention in Euro means a bunch of cubes, and that just... remastered second edition, I should say, and that just makes my little cube-shaped heart happy. Don't give me a sandbox filled with theme and intrigue. No, give me cubes. Give me cubes that I can push around. Calimala was at 1383. Is it worth revisiting? That's the question. Yeah, 1383 is actually pretty good. £38, 66 Canadian, mid-ground, but like still 90 after shipping, so probably not. Or the deluxe edition, which is 81 Canadian, which gets you another little expansion sideboard and dual layered boards. Oh, I like this. What's new? Well, not much. I'm just doing another Crowdfunding Countdown, Calimala. What's new with you? Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm about to find out. Upgraded art, upgraded tiles, dual layered player boards. Well, only if you don't get the retail version. 2 to 5 players utilizing neutral workers to capture the feeling of higher player counts, aka they know people buy 2-player games. That's why Seven Wonders did it. Intrigue expansion, also base game only, so retail is the same. And additional base game balancing. Great, that's very specific. Very specific. You know what would be nice if they said the reason why they balanced new things, because that would be interesting. But of course not. That's not what we're doing here. Custom stores, there's not much incentive to get it right now. Especially if you're getting the retail, which is why only 9 people have gotten it. That's just odd. I don't know what the intrigue expansion... Like, you don't need every expansion for every game. Do you know that? Do people know that? Do backers know this? You don't actually need every expansion, because you're all addicts who have shelves filled with games, and if you want to introduce them to new people, you're going to play without the expansion, generally. That being said, there is an expansion that's going to be my pick for me that I've already backed coming up, but that doesn't matter. I'm not getting it bundled in, although you could get it bundled in and it would probably serve you well later on. That doesn't matter. Here are the gameplay highlights. Play tiles to activate stacks. For each tile in an activated stack, the controlling player takes both adjacent action. Okay, so you go boom boom. So placing them strategically on the board. Extra tiles are pushed out of the stack and trigger scoring. Take actions to place cubes that count towards multiple majorities simultaneously. Each cube is a part of multiple areas. Contribute bricks to San Miniato and build prestige for both material and the church. Then you push a stack out, and whatever you push out also then triggers scoring, so you have to pay attention to that too. Cool. So the Intrigue expansion with 4 new action spaces added to the market. Okay, add cloth to churches. You probably don't need it. Variable player powers. Well, that's fun. I can see why people want that. And then you can discard cards to manipulate yourself on a track. Okay, all of that does seem fun, to be fair. Download the print and play. Love it. Play on Tabletopia or Tabletop Simulator. Great. There's some reviews. Oh, are you going to do this to me? I think you're going to do it to me. There's zero reason for this because you already have had the game out. You know what? No, I'm not covering this. Maybe that's what I'm going to start doing. No rulebook, no coverage. No rulebook, coverage ends. Or maybe no coverage. Maybe I should delete it from here on out. But then we wouldn't get the overview, so fine. I won't delete it for all the view. Which is why I want to go searching for the friggin' rulebook for them. And you know it's just over on Tabletop Simulator. It's probably in here, like they do in Tabletopia. But that's just what it is. So, sorry, Calimala. I don't know what your updates are, and I'm not going to read the other rule book so that I'm learning the game incorrectly. Don't get this! No rulebook on the page. That finishes Thursday, November 30th at 6:55 p.m. I'm done with that sort of garbage. Moving along to DCeased, a zombicide game. Protect Earth from the anti-life virus and its host in this epic DC Universe zombicide game. Okay, I need to go back. I'm like, oh, am I being too harsh? Is there a rulebook? No. Is there rules? No. There we go. Thank you, Control F. We're good. But yeah, we've got DCeased. It's raised over $1 million. Do 5 reasons you shouldn't back. No, I'm not gonna do that. You know why? Because you can just watch Marvel Zombies and it's the same. It's the same. I wasn't gonna do it anyway. I was gonna do this. What's up, gang? Welcome to Room and Board. My name is Chris George, and today we are taking a look at the 5 reasons you shouldn't back Marvel Zombies. And you're welcome that I didn't insert the entire video, because I was this close at doing that and just having the whole video. So you're welcome for not doing that, or I'm sorry that I didn't do that. Anyway, let's look at DCeased, the exact same game as Marvel Zombies, with a different skin. Are people still upset about Marvel Zombies? Are they receiving their Marvel Zombies and realizing that they have so much stuff and they don't need DCeased? Probably. Is it because there haven't been any good DC movies since George Clooney's nipples and Arnold Schwarzenegger's puns? Very true. You're very true. I said what I said. Sorry, Heath Ledger. Well, here we are with DCeased at $130, 178 Canadian, plus a boatload of shipping. But it'll be interesting to see if the stretch goals are equal to Marvel Zombies, considering how much more Marvel Zombies raised. That's what's kind of interesting. But it's the exact same game. It's the exact same game, and it's the exact same game as every other Zombicide ever as well. Well, not really. I do like in this one that you can pick up items, which I don't think you can in Marvel Zombies. I think Marvel Zombies was all about those traits, and it looks like they've kind of melded those two things together. You know, you get your traits, your super strength, and then you can have one-time abilities that you unleash on people. And I don't mind that as a flow, but I think I prefer the other standard Zombicide a bit better, where you get to hold on to your gear and punch people in the face, and it's not just one-time abilities. It's not spending an action to use an action. But if you don't own Zombicide, and you like the DC IP, you can, well, we'll look at the stretch goals, because you might be able to wait for this at retail. But Zombicide is fun. Zombicide is going to be inherently fun. It's why they keep on putting out Zombicide games. I don't know how many they've put out now. This has got to be in the 15 to 20 range, though. It has to be. I got to look that up. How many Zombicide games are there? Here are all the different products that there are as we scroll through an enormous amount. Oh, Fantasy Zombicide. But we're dealing with all of these sort of special guests, right? Sci-Fi Zombicide. Core game, core game. Let's search core game, eh? 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 11, 13, 14, 15, and then 16. So we're on 16. That makes sense. Yeah, I thought it was in the 15 to 20 range. If you have everything Zombicide, you have 15 large boxes on your shelf, and that's just absurd, right? I want to see if I'm remembering correctly. Marvel Zombies, I don't think you got items, because that was one thing that I was upset about, or a bit bummed about, really. And yet it still raised more than Mordred. Ugh. At least I had something in between their Zombicides. This feels like so many moons ago. Yeah, you were collecting your bystanders, which would go into that slot, really. And this time the bystanders stay to your side, and you get a permanent ability on them, and then you still have those 2 powers, which you then accumulate and then unleash attacks. We got a bunch of zombie heroes. I wonder if they'll make these sort of cross-compatible as well. Probably not, because it's based on scenarios, but they're not doing 2 different core games, I think, unless they've released it and I missed it. We get a bunch more superheroes. Aquaman is cool. Captain Atom is cool. I like when they use different plastics. That one's kind of cool. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 15, and then 11 evil people, so we're at 26. And then we have this daily snap, another 10. So we're at like 36 figures. And to be fair, Marvel Zombies was at like 70 figures. So maybe they did have to cut back because nobody's pledging for it. And then, of course, you have this standard, a bajillion different add-ons so that the same people who buy everything have everything. But look at that. Come on, it's got a rule book. We love it. We're going to take a glance through to see if it's different from Marvel Zombies, or how much different. I don't think it will be. I think the main difference is the one that we already covered. But that's interesting too, as I scroll down and scroll through. If you're only getting 36, I mean, we're still at, when I'm filming this, we still have 6 days to go, right? So we've got 36 people right now in stretch goals, probably end up getting like 50 or 52, and I think there were 70 something in DCeased, and the shipping for this is going to be very expensive though. 34 to 46, so assume 46, and then in Canada 48 to 63. That's US, so Canadian it's like an additional $70 or something in shipping. You're paying like $250 for this one game, and it's starting to not be worth it. Like, come on, usually makes it worth it with their stretch goals because of the aftermarket. With this shipping estimate plus the inflated price of $130 when their stuff is usually $100, but that's where I like it to sit. You're paying the DC IP tax maybe. I don't know if this one's worth it, you know? I think there are many Zombicide iterations. The stretch goals never hit that much. Might be nice to have all the different cards, but you know what? You can find those abilities and kind of print them off yourself. Only 12 equipment cards, though, and 11 bystander cards. So not that much. Maybe this is just one per each superhero. I don't know. Put one random equipment card face down on each zone featuring the equipment icon. Okay. But not that much. And that might make it more balanced. That might make it still pretty fun, you know? But you have to juggle around the equipment. I don't know. And then you get your heroic traits, which is going to be the main thing. Oh, I also love that Batman is just running around carrying his own bat signal. It's like, listen, the city's in need. Don't you see it? I'm going to be right here. Or he's like, no, Batman's over there. Don't worry about me. Just riding his bat signal. Sing, you canary. And then the difference is you have the escorted bystander who just follows you around. Rescuing a bystander lets you fill your power track, so you're going to want to get those strategically so you can unleash a wave of power against the opponent. I mean, what more can I say? It's Zombicide. We know what it's like. I just don't think that this is the one to get. And that's wild because I think every other command game I usually say, yeah, well, there's stretch goals usually make it worth it. It's a decent buy if you like the system. I don't think this is a decent buy. I think you can go to your store and get Marvel Zombies maybe right away instead of waiting for DCeased. It's very surprising that it didn't blow up, and looking at it, I kind of understand why. The inflated price and the smaller stretch goals, because nobody's buying it, kind of has a cycle, makes it not that interesting. But if it's interesting to you, check it out. That finishes Thursday, November 30th at 9 p.m. Moving along, we're not looking at this. Kaiju Cats, Meow Meow Kaiju Fight. That's the reason why I wanted to click on that one. Moving along to Perilous Pond, a tactical action programming game with push your luck elements. Will your brave frog thrive or face extinction? I don't know. I guess we'll find out. A tactical action programming game with push your luck elements. I didn't see that in that video. You're going to roll your dice. You get to re-roll 3 times, and then you get to take your actions. But let's see more about it. You want to eat the most fireflies, and there's also this pike, this fish that's going to be chasing you around, and if it catches up to you, it'll scare you so bad that you'll vomit up the last firefly that you ate. You poor little frog. To be fair, that's what happens to me anytime I get scared. So please do not approach me suddenly at a convention. I'll just hurl everywhere. And if you see me with, vomit dribbling down my chin, no, that's gross. Know that I'm very scared and I need to be rescued. There's also going to be this sort of forbidden island collapsing into the pond. Lily pads basically have 2 uses. You can jump on a lily pad twice and then it sinks below the ocean, never to be heard from again. And yes, this is taking place on the ocean. Don't look it up. €17. That's a good price for this. You get the dice. What's the living dangerously? Ooh, a copy of Bigger Teeth, a copy of Life Lessons for an extra €3. I don't even know what those are, and that's probably the thing that you want to do. Oh, Lice Lessons. No, it's Life Lessons. I wish it was Lice Lessons. Oh, and that's why you may not want to reroll, because you can get the pike, and the pike is bad news. Because then it'll make you vomit up your little fireflies. I wouldn't really call it action programming, unless there's an order in which the dice have to take place. You can walk, which is just step to the next thing. You can jump, which is jump over some stuff. You can catch a firefly or push an opponent's frog. Okay. But it's not like the other person's going to have set their actions anyway, and you're going to disrupt their whole thing like Robo Rally. So, and then you can place new fireflies in a place where you can eat them. You can also move lily pads around. Cool. Okay, and it goes to based upon the color of the flower. That's what this movement is. So you can get them to avoid you if you needed them. English rules, yes, please. Give me the rule book. There's a couple things that I want to check. 44 pages, wow. Well, yeah, I wanted to check, is there any programming? Or is it just roll your dice and do whatever you want? You can also then force other frogs into a lily pad, I think, or into the water and get them to lose points, which seems kind of fun. Yeah, some results must be grouped and used as a single action. Oh, the programming aspect is this. Just programming where the pike's going to go? No. I take great offense with the idea of calling it a programming game. Action programming? No, you're not programming at all. You're just taking actions. That being said, I think the price feels very fair. What's shipping? Sweden, $4.70. Nice. US and Canada, $9.30. Not the best, but whatever. United Kingdom. Cool. And the exclusive mini expansions replaces the pike with a crocodile. Additional movement rules. Cool. And basically, if stuff happens to you, you get rerolls. Fine. Honestly, I'd take the $4 in savings. I thought I was going to go with that. I'd take the $4 in savings. But 26 plus, so it's 35 for shipping. That's not bad. This is somewhere I would want it to be like 20-ish. And then you have to pay for shipping. So I think a reasonable price for what you're getting. If that sounds interesting to you, check it out. It finishes Friday, December 1st at 2:39 p.m. Moving along to Space Bears. Oh my god, they've invaded the space. They've taken to outer space. Here I'd almost scoured all of the Earth looking for my family, but instead they've made it to space. How dare you? How dare you? Moving along to Holotype. You can see, I'm already a backer. I've pledged $19. Holotype, the Mesozoic Europe expansion. New expansions for the strategy board game Holotype. European dinos and formations, crocs, bone beds, and new mechanics. I have a full video on this. I have a full video on the main game as well. This is something that was my pick for the week way back when it first appeared on crowdfunding, and then I got it, and it was exactly how I expected it to be. It's a lovely, lovely cube pusher. Look, there's me saying that it's a lovely, lovely cube pusher. Where this game is very exciting and shines supremely is that you have variable workers. Do I agree with past Chris? I think it's very exciting all around. No, I do think it's very exciting because of the variable workers. I do agree with past Chris. And you know what's the most incredible thing about this Kickstarter? Is that they have lowered the price. They have done the unthinkable, whereas way back when, back in April 10th, 2022, May 8th, 2022, a year and a half ago, it was $49, and you know what happened? They made it $45. They clearly were able to get a bigger shipping run. They clearly were able to get a bigger production run and are passing those savings on to you. Screw you, backers who got it first. No, I think that's incredible. I think that lowering the price is incredible. And I also think that $19 for this expansion is such a good deal that it doesn't matter that I was probably going to get sent a copy. I have the prototype copy. I've integrated it with my game. And Brett and Lex, let me know if you want it back. I'll bring it to PAX and I'll see you there. Like, let me know because I'm going to forget to email you about it, okay? I'll give it back to you because I am getting a copy. I am backing a copy of this expansion because I think it is very good, and I think this is a great price for it. And that should tell you how much I enjoy the game and how much I want to support this game, because since I did the review for them, they were probably going to send me one for free anyway. But I said, no, don't send me one for free. I want to spend money instead to support this project because the expansion is that good. And because this price is so reasonable. I wasn't expecting it to be 19. I was expecting it to be 30. And I was going to go, yeah, okay, 30 US, blah, blah, blah. I was going to do my whole shtick. It being 19, $26 Canadian is fantastic because you're getting a heap of cards in this expansion. So let me rewind a little bit. If you don't know anything about Holotype, you can go watch those other videos on it. But I'll give you a basic breakdown of the game and why the variable workers are so exciting. Yes, and give me these rule books as well, baby. That's how I like it. Well, you know what? I should have kept that other tab open because it had better graphics for the main game. Probably should put how to play the main game in a few graphics. I guess it's up here, right? But I'd like to see that, but I guess they didn't want to clutter up the page. Anyway, I'm going to clutter up this video by reiterating. basically you're going to have this board and you're going to have these 3 different workers. These workers, when you put them out, the taller ones do better things than the shorter ones. Sorry to my short friends out there. That's just how this game works. The taller ones do the better thing, the shorter ones do the smaller things, and the taller ones can kick the shorter ones out of their space too, or people of the same size. You're going to be going on field expeditions to get fossils so that you can then publish papers about dinosaurs. But whatever papers you don't publish at the end of the game, you lose points for them because you didn't do your research. You held on to those dinosaur blueprints like the bad boys and wicked women that you are. Anyway, you roll your dice, you get some cubes, you spend those cubes, you get points. That's the gist of it. There's a lot of really fun, unique things that help make this stand out amongst relaxing cube pushers, but it's a very relaxing cube pusher. In the European expansion, you can just watch the video, but you're getting this a little bit of asymmetry. You get a double-sided focus board where when you complete these tasks of publishing those dinosaurs, you can unlock special abilities or special endgame bonus conditions. Fantastic. You also get a huge chunk of new dinosaurs that are in Europe or were discovered in Europe. I don't care about. I never look at the pictures anyway. I know some people who don't really like the design of the cards either. I don't mind them. I think they're fun. But they're not like lookers. You're not going to examine it. I don't look at the birds and wingspan. I don't look at the dinosaurs here. I look at the cube requirements and I spend the cube requirements. They've rebalanced some stuff in this expansion with the base game. They've added in additional ways to make sure that you can have a cache of fossils when you really need it. And they've added in different global objectives for player count as well. Plus, they've added in these 2 new milestone tokens, which are very fun. Oh, and it's probably in this add-on where you get the additional milestone achievement, which is at the game end you can discard 2 cards, which doesn't really matter, and you don't have to worry about it. I think this game is great, and I also think that, I was going to say that math is wrong, but it's not, because you're getting in the 2 little mini expansions here for $1 extra. That's how that math works out. I think 65 is 89 Canadian. Yeah, but you're getting an expansion with it. You're getting an expansion with it and a bunch of other stuff. Plus the shipping. I know the shipping isn't going to be that great, but it is a bit better. It is better than it was previously. Everything has improved from a consumer standpoint this go around. And even though it would still, even if I was getting this base one for 45, shipping to Canada, shipping to Canada only be 12, right? Everything has improved. There was a lot more, it was a lot more expensive with shipping this last time. To Canada, it was 21. And I think now they know the cost. Now they've established distribution networks. Now that shipping doesn't add to that price so much that I can get really excited about it. Anyway, so I'm getting this for 19 plus 12 bucks shipping. It'll be about 40 bucks for the expansion to get to my door Canadian. And that feels reasonable. It feels reasonable for what you get. I mean, obviously I'd want it for cheaper if you're at a booth somewhere, they go to a lot of conventions, so just wait and just get it there maybe. Or you can spend the money now and support them and increase this funding, which absolutely deserves to be higher. No world in which this doesn't deserve to be higher. It's a very fun game. I like it a lot, and I like championing it. I find it relaxing, and it's not going to leave my collection. And I really, really like the expansion as well. I'll probably never play with the base game ever again. It's one of those expansions, you know what I mean? And so it really doesn't matter what deck of dinos you play with. I kind of wish the backs were even different, since there's no real way to mix them together. They're not designed to be mixed together with the base game, so I kind of wish the backs were different entirely. Makes it easier to sort than the little small tag in the bottom. Maybe that's something worth looking into, I don't know. Or maybe they have plans down the line to be able to mix everything together. I don't know. But I quite enjoyed this expansion. I was very excited that this was in this week because it meant that I got to talk about it. So check that out. Really do check it out. If you haven't seen my videos on Holotype, check those out to see if it's going to be right for you or not. May not be right for you, but for me, it was like a really relaxing cube pusher, and I enjoyed it a bunch. Let's move along. Nope, that's the same Holotype. We're moving along. We got 2 left. Whoa, this has almost raised $1 million. Way to go, Kelp. Wow, hide and seek meets bluffing and manipulation. Deck builder meets a dice bag builder. A dedicated 2-player game of shark versus octopus. Best thing about octopus is that they have beaks. That's true. And they have nightmares. Also true. And they have 3 hearts. Also true. And for their camouflaging and how they change things, they not only have leucophores, which cuttlefish have, chromatophores, which chameleons have, and iridophores, which cephalopods have, but they have all three of them. And some octopuses are cannibals, so they'll camouflage, they'll jump, and they'll eat each other. Can you tell that I'm playing a marine biologist who loves octopuses in February and March? Because I am. Let's check out kelp. I'm sorry, the pajama shark gets a classification of shark, but the octopus doesn't. There's over 100 species of octopus. What type of octopus is it, huh? Is it a blue-ringed octopus who's poisonous? Is it just a giant Pacific octopus? Is it a Dumbo octopus? Yes, you can see my Google search of weird types of octopuses. I'm not ashamed of that. There are many weird types of octopuses. That's a new one that I just learned about. Look at this. Look at this Dumbo. This Dumbo octopus. This one does look cool. I can't believe it's raised so much money. What have they done before? Oh, no way. The Hunt for Lost Creatures. I covered that. This seems significantly better. Oh, and I think they did reach out for me to potentially cover this too, but I think the timing didn't work out with schedules. Oof, €45, 68 Canadian for the standard edition. What's the deluxe edition? Getting a whole bunch of stuff. $90 for a very simple two-player game. Well, deeply asymmetric, but I know it's pretty simple. Deck builder meets dice bag builder. The shark uses dice and moves around the board trying to hunt the octopus, and the octopus uses cards to hide and manipulate blocks on the board. Yeah, I know. I kind of want the Lego shark as well. I wonder if they added that as an add-on, because I know this shark in every other review that you see is a Lego shark. I think it's kind of funny. See, you've got beautiful octopus cards, but you've got thrilling shark cards. This seems very slated to the shark. You know what I mean? It seems like the shark is like the amazing attacker. And you know what? Octopuses can get it. Octopuses will F you up, okay? You want to know why? Oh, you think a shark's going to get the octopus? No, I don't think so. Right here where everybody's watching. Look at this big friggin' shark. You know what's going to happen? The octopus is going to get him because the octopus lies in wait, waiting for the shark to come by. This enormous thing, and then boom, the octopus is bigger. Look at that friggin' kraken just wrecking him, okay? Octopuses are the most intelligent creatures in the sea. Their brains are like ours, except for the part where they spend their whole lives giving birth and then just die. Jeez. Yeah, you're telling me the beautiful octopus and the thrilling shark? No, reverse those around, thanks very much. See, this is a good deluxe edition because none of it matters. Cotton bags, different translucent dice, inserts, no. It's not the play. The standard edition is the play here, not the deluxe edition. And you can tell, there's 2,000 backers for standard. Approximately 47 US, so that's the one that we're going to consider. Ride a jellyfish and let it steal energy from the shark? No, that's not how jellyfish work. But of course, this is a fiction because that punk-ass pajama shark is still coming down the stairs, you know? I don't really care about these little mini expansions. Probably not worth it. I like the idea of the shark, though. You want to use a network of currents around the board to move faster, and so you're going to draw and roll your dice, using the currents to get to specific places to investigate and use your dice effectively. So your blue dice are help for movement, and your yellow and red dice are for attacking, basically. And then you can unlock the special abilities. Unlocking those special abilities with your dice is something that's making me very exciting. And then the octopus can just like lay in wait, or can go for a food strategy. So I like that there's a couple things to do. What is also interesting too, because I'd read through a little bit about this beforehand, so I know a little bit more, is that whenever you play a card, you have to reveal a block, right? And so you are reducing your potential of that you have set. And so playing cards really makes a difference between shuffling things around. Unless, of course, you shuffle the blocks up and then put your octopus all out. So the shark wins by successfully attacking the octopus. The octopus wins by surviving until the shark is exhausted or by eating all 4 seafoods. Yes, give me the rule book just a little over halfway down the page, because I'm curious about that final attack, right? That's the only thing that I don't have a good grasp on yet. Everything else seems pretty standard, playing cards, doing the effect. Orthogonal adjacency, that makes sense. I like the idea of revealed and hidden because you're going to be sitting at opposite sides of the table. That seems kind of neat. Or limiting if you don't sit on opposite sides of the table. Something to consider. How you like to play your games. Not a deal breaker, but like, just something. So there are 4 types of cards. There's a movement, there's a hide, standing your blocks back up so that you can then shuffle and swap things around. You can learn, improving your skills, better cards and new blocks, so you can get your traps, and you can eat. Oh, and you've got to match the food token. Jeez. Oh, cool. Discard a current, so the currents probably stay out there. See, that's something that you learn. Get to draw and roll 2 dice. You can place currents. Only 2 dice. Cool. I like that. So you can establish a network. You can establish stuff that lets you fight as well. And you must move each turn. Oh, okay. Only the first used current goes onto the growth track. So the growth track is how you use and upgrade your abilities. And so that's how you can chain them together. If you set out a network of currents first and don't use them, that's kind of neat. Yeah, this one looks fun. Growth track gives you permanent abilities. You can also put in the energy track, and that's how you can get new cards as the shark. Okay, confrontation. This is what I want. Okay, when the shark strikes a block with a red die, it's the octopus. You immediately start a confrontation. You all have 3 confrontation cards. You choose one. If the shark chooses the counter that matches the octopus's card, the shark successfully attacks. If the shark did not choose the color card, the octopus escapes. And then you discard those cards. So then you know exactly what else is left. And then on the second one, there's a 50-50 chance. I really like this breakdown in the rule book too, just like emphasizing the strategies to the players as well. So guaranteed the 3rd time find the octopus, you win, but you could win on the first one. I think this looks great. What's the shipping? Shipping to Australia, $15. Oh yeah, Canada, $25. US, $15. Germany, €7. EU, €12. So about the same everywhere. Even to Australia, except for Canada. Canada's $25 US. So for me to get to Canada, it's like $100. Again, $100 for this game. I think it looks perfectly good, perfectly cool. Definitely interested. Interested for 40. You know, not for $100, but definitely looks really cool. And the standard edition would be all that you would need. And it also looks like really nicely produced as well. So if that interests you, check it out. It finishes Tuesday, December 5th at 12 p.m. Finally, moving along to our last one of the week. And we're going to do it. We're going to look at this right now. It's Horizon Forbidden West, Seeds of Rebellion. Experience untold stories of the Verizon Hidden West. Yeah. Anywhere west of our towers, we won't give you service, I assume. Verizon's bad, right? Verizon customers out there, let me know. But we're talking about Horizon Forbidden West, and this 1-to-4 player cooperative board game inspired by the acclaimed video game. I've played Horizon Zero Dawn, not the board game, but the video game, and I didn't finish it, so very good. It's pretty fun, but let's see what Steamforged Games has cooked up with that is probably very similar to Horizon Zero Dawn, but is the second iteration of it. There might be something of interest here. What is exciting about the game is the stealth of the video game, I should say, is the stealth, right? You're laying your traps, you're preparing to fight. I generally don't play the stealth way on this video game, though. I just play the run frantically with my little spear and try to hit them and think I'm strong and then realize I'm playing the game incorrectly. That's how I like to play. But here you have the little paths, the paths that you get to watch the minis move around on the board as you hide in a bush and hope that they'll step on your little fireball. Don't worry though, this is a new canon story, and it does have a friggin' 3-ring scenario booklet, so I'm in. Oh, I take it all back. The Marshall Pledge, the complete core experience. There's one pledge and it's $200 Canadian. That's expensive. Steamforged is expensive though. Is Monster Hunter even out yet? Monster Hunter World Forest, I mean, it's sold out $115 Canadian. Like, that's really good. When you compare to double that for another Steamforged game. I will want to see the rules, though. And to be fair to Steamforged, their Monster Hunter minis are really fun. I really like them a lot. Will it be locked content in this Kickstarter exclusive expansion? Who knows? I think it's also worth looking at Horizon Zero Dawn, the board game, and that it's number 4,999. May not be the same, though. Seems like you have a sort of different map. They might be very different games. I was trying to look to see... Oh, you do have kind of the pathways. I was trying to look to see if there was any specific pathways. Feels like it's laid out more with tiles, and this is more like a story. And well, it is a Steamforged campaign, so we are going to have to scroll through eons and eons of looking at the pretty pictures before we even get to anything. But there is a little tab on the side that says rulebook there, so if you want to jump right to it, that's fantastic. How it plays. Seeds of Rebellion thrusts you into the unforgiving clan lands of Forbidden West. Embark on a life or death mission in this new official story within Horizon's canon. Replayable 25-hour campaign. More with expansions. That's enough. That'll be enough. You'll explore a majestic and dangerous world, battle colossal machines, and try to uproot the growing rebellion before more unnecessary blood is shed. Every decision you make could affect your campaign, so choose wisely, okay? Just know that there is a chance that decisions that you make might affect your campaign. There's a chance that they won't. There's a chance that none of it matters whatsoever. But there is a chance that the thing that you did earlier on means that you don't have a helmet for the final boss battle, who loves punching people with helmets and will not love punching you because you don't have a helmet. Congratulations, you won the game. Maybe. That's a possibility. I'm saying there's a chance, okay? I'm saying there's a chance. New cooperative stealth system. I would assume that there should be a stealth system. Lay and bait traps before coordinating your assault. Gain valuable salvage, yeah. So kind of like Monster Hunter. Use XP to build your deck from a massive selection of new action cards. So probably just similar to Monster Hunter, which isn't a bad thing. I liked it. It uses Zero Dawn's highly regarded combat engine with new features designed for fully co-op play, including new stealth mechanics to help your squad stay undetected. That sounds like a very large improvement, and it baffles me that those mechanics weren't apparently in the main game. I haven't seen the main game, but yeah. Let's check this out. Rulebook 3/4 down the page. Oh yeah, they brought people to come play this, didn't they? There's nothing scarier than when you get to shipping and it says, listen, just before you get there, just know you don't need to pay it right away. Okay? I just want to preface that you do not have to pay this right away. It's okay. And actually, please don't add it to your Kickstarter fee because the Kickstarter will take out 5%, and then we'll have to pay 5% of that shipping. Let's see what it is. Pledge with confidence. UK, £20. Canada, £35. Oh, which is $60 Canadian. I didn't know that it was going to be that much. You don't have to pay it right away, okay? Just know you don't have to pay right away. US mainland, 31. UK is the best place to be, apparently. Would have thought anyone would say that since Brexit. Let's look at the rulebook. Not too bad. Pretty good. I want to see more about the stealth, and I want to see more about the campaign. I want to just see more. No component list here, so I don't know what's going to be in everybody's deck or how many action cards start in your deck, but there's going to be 3 basic types of cards in a character's starting action deck: ammunition, ability, and interrupt. Oh, you only get ammunition when the game's progressed to a certain point. And otherwise, abilities can kind of help you. You also have interrupt, which are just reaction cards. And then you have these other cards, trap cards, armor cards, and equipment cards, which you'll be equipped with at all times. And then you can upgrade it throughout the game. So this is kind of like your weapon wheel, right? So you've got your big narrative book as well, and counter books. So probably similar to Monster Hunter World, if you're familiar. I have a review on that. That's the only Steamforged game that I've played. But you'll have this initial narrative phase where you can make some choices. It's describing that you're going to have some rolls, right? There's going to be more dice rolling in this than sort of card play, which is Monster Hunter World. And you can only roll a certain amount of dice. You get to choose how many dice you want to roll to achieve that narrative thing, not knowing what's coming up. That's kind of neat. And then finally, when a character enters a combat encounter, they'll be instructed to turn to a specific page of the narrative book. This will detail a unique encounter brief. The setup instructions, so you flip open the combat books. That creates the map. And then you'll fight off. Oh, cool. You'll have this little track to detail how alert the enemies are and how visible every character is. That's kind of neat. You'll always be targeting a specific component on the enemy's body. So just like in the game, you're going to be breaking off things from them. And your actions are fairly standard. You're moving, you can move carefully or quickly, and then you're attacking or laying traps down. And then you roll a bunch of dice. You just roll a bunch of dice, deal a bunch of damage, but of course every character will have armor. It feels very like the lessons learned from Monster Hunter as well. That's my only sort of reference point, but in a way that encourages stealth and with dice rolling. But I enjoyed Monster Hunter. I did. It was a fun boss battler. This also feels like a fun boss battler. I don't know if it's $200 Canadian fun, but it feels very similar to me. Seems pretty similar in terms of feel and in terms of flow, and that's not a bad thing. I like the stealth feels correct. It's mind-boggling to me that this stealth mechanic is newly revitalized. That makes me have zero interest in trying Zero Dawn, but I would be interested in trying this one. I think it would be kind of neat. I think, like Monster Hunter, you're going to want to have that grind and slow leveling up process. Yeah, it seems fun. The sculpts will probably be pretty fun. And I mean, like, I really like the minis that Steamforged made for Monster Hunter. I really did. I thought they were really cool. So if you like big friggin' honkin' minis, it's still it's $260 Canadian for this game. I don't think so. I think this is definitely a wait until retail if you're even somewhat interested. I don't think the gameplay probably has enough to support that cost for cheapy old me, but I do think the quality of mini that you get with Steamforged is pretty great. And it seems like a fun game. So if you're a fan of the video game, it seems like it'll be a faithful re-implementation and definitely better than whatever Zero Dawn's non-stealth mechanic had. Like, come on. But hey, at least you get an upgrade pack over here. Which they don't really tell you about. Maybe they'll tell you about that in an update. It doesn't matter. That's finishing up Tuesday, December 5th at 4 p.m. if you're interested. That's it. That is it for the week. Longer than I expected. A couple fun things to check out, though. But every week I do a pick for me and a pick for you. The pick for me being the thing that I'm the most interested in. Pick for you being the thing that I think if you got, you would enjoy. And it's pretty obvious what the pick for me is. It's the one that I'm backing. It's Holotype again. Holotype gets picked for me because I have first-hand experience with it, so obviously that skews me towards it, and it's a positive first-hand experience. I really like this game. This is not enough to have been made for this game. It's not enough. I don't know why people aren't jumping on this one. It's a great cube pusher. Maybe it's the art. It's certainly not the mechanics. I think it's just a really solid game. And I think the pick for you is going to be Kelp. I think it's going to be Kelp. Partisan was close, to be fair. I think that looks like an okay asymmetric deck builder. But I think it's probably just going to be pretty basic. Kelp looks fun. I think if you get Kelp, I think it'll deliver on what it's saying. I think it is a bit overpriced for what it is. I'd like it to be much cheaper. I'd like it to be 60 shipped to me at max, right? And it's certainly not that. But this does look really unique, really, I think the way the asymmetry works, I think upgrading the powers is going to feel fun. I think the dice rolling and planning out that efficiency is going to feel fun. I think the shark's going to feel more fun than the octopus, and that's the only knock against it, because, have I mentioned, octopuses are insane. But yeah, I think it looks quite nice. So that's definitely pick for me. I mean, pick for you. Pick for me is Holotype. That's it for the week. Let me know in the comments what you're backing, what you're not, how you feel. How are you feeling? You feeling good? You feeling nice? Pinch that little like button so that I know that you're feeling good. If you're having a good day, here's the thing. If you're having a good day, a mediocre day, or a bad day, hit the like button, because your day will improve. No, sorry, don't hit it. Pinch it. Pinch it. Stupid. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. My name's Chris George. I do not have a catchphrase. I thought one was going to come out there, and it didn't. Oh. But that's life. But did you know that octopus's brains are like a donut? Yeah, its brain is wrapped around its esophagus. Its throat goes through its brain. And also, it's basically got brains in its arms, so that when it touches something, its arms can move independently, and its arms know to like grab it and then send that signal back to the donut brain. So if you're grabbing something, it knows instantly how to react, and the arms can react independently of each other. That's true. That's why Octodad is Octodad. If you don't know Octodad, he's the dadliest catch. I'm ending this stream with a gif of Octodad just trying to go shopping and make sure nobody finds out he's an octopus, and so people don't run bad experiments on him. That's what an Octodad would look like. It's a real, true representation. See you later.